Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Ramya with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addresses frontline COVID warriors and beneficiaries of Himachal Pradesh. Says the state is empowering world's largest and fastest vaccination campaign. President Ramnath Kovind presents President's Colour to the Indian Naval Aviation at INS Hans in Dabolim, Goa. Union Health Ministry says genome sequencing and analysis of COVID-19 progressively increased in the country. More than 68 crore 75 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.44%. In Kerala, efforts intensified to trace the source of Nipah virus. Central team reaches on a 3-day visit to Bihar to assess the damages caused by flood. In Afghanistan, Taliban claims to capture Panjshir Valley. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the inaugural conclave of Shikshak Parv at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. And in cricket, fourth test between India and England evenly poised at the Oval in London. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India is administering 1.25 crore COVID vaccine daily, which is higher than the population of several countries. The Prime Minister was virtually addressing the frontline COVID warriors and people of Himachal Pradesh for achieving the 100% target in administering the first dose of COVID vaccine to its eligible population, first by any state in the country today.
100 वर्ष की सबसे बड़ी महामारी के विरुद्ध लड़ाई में हिमाचल प्रदेश चैंपियन बनकर के सामने आया है। हिमाचल भारत का पहला राज्य बना है जिसने अपनी पूरी एलिजिबल आबादी को कोरोना टीके की कम से कम 1 डोज लगा ली। यही नहीं, दूसरी डोज के मामले में भी हिमाचल लगभग 1/3 आबादी को पार कर चुका है। हिमाचल के लोगों की इस सफलता ने देश का आत्मविश्वास भी बढ़ाया है और आत्मनिर्भर होना कितना जरूरी है, ये भी याद दिलाया है।
While interacting with the frontline COVID warriors and beneficiaries of the COVID vaccination program through video conferencing one by one, the Prime Minister appreciated the efforts being taken by the frontline health workers to achieve this unique feat.
हिमाचल प्रदेश ने आज एक प्रधान सेवक के नाते ही नहीं बल्कि एक परिवार के सदस्य के नाते भी मुझे गर्व का अवसर दिया है। मैंने छोटी छोटी सुविधाओं के लिए संघर्ष करते हिमाचल को भी देखा है और आज विकास की गाथा को लिख रहे हिमाचल को भी देख रहा हूं। मैं फिर एक बार जिन जिन से मेरा संवाद करने का अवसर मिला और जिस प्रकार से सबने बातें बताई, इसके लिए मैं उनका तो आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, मैं पूरी टीम का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हिमाचल ने एक टीम के रूप में काम करके अद्भुत सिद्धि प्राप्त की है। मेरी तरफ से आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
He said that this has become possible due to the tireless efforts of all the corona warriors, including doctors, paramedical staff, ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers and teachers. He further added that Himachal Pradesh has made vaccination successful through public participation and public dialogue despite logistics difficulties. The Prime Minister said that Himachal has achieved 100% first dose vaccination target by working as a team. He stated that the remote tribal district of Lahaul Spiti has also been a leader in vaccination. He congratulated all the corona warriors, including the state government, for this success. The PM said after Himachal, Sikkim and Dadra Nagar Haveli have also achieved the target of administering the first dose of COVID vaccine to all eligible people, and the rest of the states are nearing to achieve it. The Prime Minister said the drone technology will ease the life of people living in hills.
ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी से जुड़े नियमों में हुआ बदलाव, अब इसके नियम बहुत आसान बना दिए गए हैं। इससे हिमाचल में हेल्थ से लेकर कृषि जैसे अनेक सेक्टर में नई संभावनाएं बनने वाली है। ड्रोन अब दवाइयों की होम डिलीवरी में भी काम आ सकता है, बाग बगीचों में भी काम आ सकता है, और इसका इस्तेमाल जमीन के सर्वे में तो किया ही जा रहा है। मैं समझता हूं ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी का सही इस्तेमाल हमारे पहाड़ी इलाकों के लोगों का पूरा जीवन बदल सकता है। जंगलों की सुरक्षा और संरक्षण के लिए भी हिमाचल में ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी का बहुत इस्तेमाल हो सकता है।
On this occasion, Chief Minister Jairam Thakur thanked the Prime Minister for a continued supply of the vaccine to the state. He said that the target of the second dose would also be completed by November 30th in the state. The President and the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, Ramnath Kovind, presented the President's colour to Indian Naval Aviation at INS Hans in Dabolim, Goa today. The President's colour is bestowed on a military unit in recognition of its exceptional service rendered to the nation, both in peace and in war. Naval aviation has distinguished itself with notable and gallant service to our nation over the past 7 decades. Speaking on the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind said that naval aircrafts have also been at the forefront of numerous peacetime as well as humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations, providing relief not only to our countrymen but also to friendly foreign nations.
The naval aviation has contributed through numerous humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations, during which it has provided relief to fellow citizens, like the recently conducted rescue operations of Mumbai during Cyclone Taukte in May 2021. With missions like Operation Samudra Setu and Mission Sagar, the Navy was a key instrument of India's COVID outreach, delivering assistance and support to our maritime neighbors and partners in the Indian Ocean region.
The President lauded the indigenization efforts of the Indian Navy in keeping with the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision of the government. President Ramnath Kovind added that aviation is an exacting profession and naval aviation's impressive flying statistics are reflective of untiring efforts of a highly motivated team. Governor of Goa, P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant, Minister of State for Tourism, Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Shripad Yeso Nayak, and other dignitaries were present on the occasion.
Union Health Ministry has said that genome sequencing and analysis of the COVID-19 has progressively increased in the country. It said as many states started witnessing rising trends of COVID-19, the sequencing was enhanced. The ministry said when many states like Maharashtra, Punjab and Delhi started showing rising trends in the month of February this year, the sequencing was enhanced in 4 districts of Vidarbha, 10 districts of Maharashtra and 10 districts of Punjab. It said initial path sequencing aimed at detecting variants of concern among incoming international travellers. States have been repeatedly advised to send adequate number of samples for sequencing. The clarification came in the wake of allegations made in some media reports that genome sequencing and analysis of the COVID-19 declined sharply in the country, even as cases of the disease continued to rise. The report further claims that the country sequenced very low number of samples till date. More than 68 crore 75 lakh vaccine doses of COVID-19 have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Over 25 lakh 23,000 vaccine doses were administered to the eligible beneficiaries in the country during the last 24 hours. Union Health Ministry in a statement said that the country has reported 38,948 new cases of COVID in the last 24 hours. The ministry said a total of 43,903 patients also recovered from the infection during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate currently stands at 97.44%. Daily positivity rate is reported to be at 2.76% for the last 7 days.
The Union government today said that more than 68 crore 4 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to the states and union territories so far. Health Ministry said more than 5 crore 8 lakh unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories. The ministry said over 1 crore 44 lakh doses are in the pipeline. In Assam, schools and colleges for higher secondary to post-graduation level reopened today as per the SOP issued by the Education Department, reopening of educational institutions for the final year students of higher secondary, graduation and post-graduation today. However, classes from 1 to 11th, first 7 semesters of degree courses and first-year students of post-graduation will be continued with online classes instead of physical class. The hostels are also allowed to reopen for fully vaccinated post-graduation, graduation and 12th standard students.
State Health Minister Veena George has informed that the following week is crucial for the state, taking into account the Nipah outbreak. Kozhikode, Kannur and Malappuram districts are under high alert. Today, the central team will continue further investigations on the origin of the disease. Health experts have asked the public not to panic about Nipah. They have warned the public to be cautious and aware about the spread of the disease. As part of finding the source of origin, the Animal Welfare Department has started sample collection in Chatamangalam in Kozhikode district where the Nipah virus was confirmed. Meanwhile, Nipah preventive measures are operational in full swing in Kozhikode Medical College. Those under observation in Kozhikode Medical College will be subjected to true NAT tests today. The team from Pune Virology Institute will set up a lab exclusively for the purpose. Samples of 8 people who are suspected of Nipah infection have been sent for testing. 32 people are under high-risk category. 251 have been identified as part of contact tracing. The test results of 7 people who were primary contacts of the deceased kid will be available by today evening. A central team reached Patna this afternoon on 3-day tour to Bihar to assess the damages caused by the prevailing floods in the state. Soon after arrival, the team members held discussion with Chief Secretary and other officials to know the flood flurry in the state. A 6-member team led by Joint Secretary in Home Ministry R.K. Singh is visiting the flood-affected districts of the state and will submit its report to the union government. The team will undertake an aerial survey to the flood-affected districts including Darbhanga, Muzaffarpur, Samastipur, Katihar, Bhagalpur districts of the state. The central team will also hold discussions with concerned officials at Darbhanga today and in Bhagalpur tomorrow.
Union Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Zubin Irani today met and interacted with pregnant and lactating mothers at Mumbai's Dharavi as part of the Rashtriya Poshan Maah. Ms. Irani tried to understand the problems faced by the pregnant and lactating mothers. She also advised them to take utmost precautions during the pregnancy period. On the occasion, the minister gave away fruit bouquets to some of the beneficiaries of the Integrated Child Development Services, ICDS. She also visited one of the pregnant women, Jyoti Srivastav, at her home and inquired about her health. While interacting with the Anganwadi workers, the minister lauded their work during the period of COVID-19 crisis and said that they have been doing stupendous work in creating awareness among people on the infectious disease. The Enforcement Directorate ED is questioning TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee in New Delhi. Abhishek has been summoned by the ED in a coal smuggling case. His wife, too, was called by the agency, but citing the COVID-19 pandemic, she requested the agency to question her at her residence in Kolkata. The probe led by the ED is based on an FIR registered by the CBI over alleged mass coal pilferage in Eastern Coalfields Limited mines in West Bengal's Kunustoria and Kajora collieries. Earlier speaking to reporters, Mr. Banerjee said the investigating agency had summoned him and he is ready to face any investigation. Mr. Banerjee said investigation agency is doing their job and as a citizen he will cooperate with them.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addresses frontline COVID warriors and beneficiaries of Himachal Pradesh, says the state is empowering world's largest and fastest vaccination campaign. President Ramnath Kovind presents President's Colour to the Indian Naval Aviation at INS Hans in Dabolim, Goa. Union Health Ministry says genome sequencing and analysis of COVID-19 progressively increased in the country. More than 68 crore 75 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.44%. In Kerala, efforts intensified to trace the source of Nipah virus. Central team reaches on a 3-day visit to Bihar to assess the damages caused by flood. In Afghanistan, Taliban claims to capture Panjshir Valley. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the inaugural conclave of Shiksha Parv at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. In cricket, the fourth test between India and England evenly poised at the Oval in London. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the inaugural conclave of Shikshak Parv at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. He will also launch multiple key initiatives in the education sector during the event. The Prime Minister will launch Indian Sign Language Dictionary, an audio and text-embedded sign language video for the hearing impaired in conformity with the universal design of learning talking books, which is audiobooks for the visually impaired, and School Quality Assurance and Assessment Framework of CBSE. The theme of Shikshak Parv 2021 is Quality and Sustainable Schools, Learnings from Schools in India. Its celebration will encourage innovative practices to ensure not only continuity of education at all levels, but to improve quality, inclusive practices and sustainability in the schools across the country as well. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and Union Ministers of State for Education will also be present during the event. In Afghanistan, Taliban has claimed that they have captured the Panjshir Valley, the last pocket of resistance in the country. Addressing a press conference in Kabul, the chief spokesman of Taliban, Zabihullah Mujahid, said, with this victory, the country is completely taken out of the quagmire of war. However, the resistance force claimed that they are still present in all strategic positions and fight against Taliban in Panjshir Valley will continue. A tweet from the group's Twitter handle also says, the struggle against the Taliban and their partners will continue until justice and freedom prevails. Over the weekend, the National Resistance Front of Afghanistan, NRF, said its spokesman Fahim Dashti and a commander, General Abdul Wudod Zara, had been killed in the conflict, while a prominent Taliban general and 13 bodyguards also killed.
BJP today criticized Congress leader Rahul Gandhi for tweeting an old photo and describing it as a present one. Speaking to reporters in Delhi, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra said, wherever there is politics of illusion, lies, Rahul Gandhi's hand is there in the country. He said, today Rahul Gandhi has tweeted the old picture of the farmers' movement and described it as the present photo. Mr. Patra said the world's fastest and largest vaccination campaign is going on in India and the whole world is appreciating it, but Rahul Gandhi does not do a single tweet in context of the vaccination.
As our nation celebrates its 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janotsav, All India Radio News brings to its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th of August and will continue till 15th of August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 882-654-6262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@gmail.com. Now, let's listen to our special segment, Azadi Ka Safar.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
आजादी का सफर AIR न्यूज के संग. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
In today's episode, we will talk about how the British got foothold in Maratha land, the courage of Sarat Chandra Bose, and the agony of partition.
The Maratha Empire had become the strongest opponent of the British Empire by the middle of the 18th British now wanted to conquer the Maratha Empire.
When the Peshwa King Madhav Rao died, Raghunath Rao sought the support of the British to be installed as Peshwa against Madhav Rao. It was on this day in the year 1774 that the British supported Peshwa Raghunath Rao to reconquer Pune.
But he was soon removed from the seat of Peshwa due to opposition by other Maratha rulers. Raghunath Rao sought help from the British again and signed the Treaty of Surat in March 1775. Via this treaty, the British promised to give Raghunath Rao military assistance in exchange for control of Salsette Island and Bassein Fort.
Later on, it was because of this Treaty of Surat that in the First Anglo-Maratha War, the Maratha forces led by Nana Fadnavis had to fight with the combined forces of the British and Raghunath Rao.
This is how the British Empire was given strength by the infighting nature of Indian royalty.
Today is also the birth anniversary of Sarat Chandra Bose. Born in 1889 at Cuttack in Odisha, he was the elder brother of Subhash Chandra Bose. He qualified as a lawyer in 1911 and went to England.
With the legendary Nripendranath Sarkar as his mentor, Sarat Chandra achieved great fame as a barrister. He began a successful legal practice upon his return to India, but later abandoned it to join the civil disobedience movement.
In a report of the then Government of India's Home Department, he was described as the power behind his brother Subhash Chandra Bose and the financier of the civil disobedience movement in Calcutta.
He established a news agency, Orient Press Agency, in 1929. In the 1940s, he started the paper, The Nation.
For some years, Sarat Chandra Bose also indulged in electoral politics and held various positions. Sarat Chandra believed that nothing which is morally wrong is politically right. This served as his guideline throughout his life.
Sarat Chandra Bose was the first to protest against the partition of Bengal and Punjab. He consistently opposed the partition, both before and after the publication of the Mountbatten Plan. It was on this issue that he resigned from Congress in January 1947 and started a protest campaign in February 1947.
Soon after India achieved her independence on 15th of August 1947, Sarat Chandra advocated the setting up of a regional organization with India, Pakistan, Nepal, Burma and Ceylon as its constituent members. He stood for the unity of Asia's southeastern nations as well.
Also, in August 1947, Sarat Chandra Bose formed the Socialist Republican Party, and in 1949, Sarat Chandra formed the United Socialist Organization that sought to bring all the socialist forces of the country on a common platform.
Sarat Chandra Bose was a true nationalist, and he continued his untiring efforts to prevent partition in various ways till the very end.
After the partition of India in 1947, approximately 15 million people migrated within a period of 4 years. To manage the situation, on this very day in the year 1947, the government of India created a new Ministry of Rehabilitation.
The wounds of partition cannot be healed so easily. The pain is still felt. On the eve of India's Independence Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi declared that August the 14th would now be observed as the Partition Horrors Remembrance Day.
हम आजादी का जश्न मनाते हैं, लेकिन बंटवारे का दर्द आज भी हिंदुस्तान के सीने को छलनी करता है। ये पिछली शताब्दी की सबसे बड़ी त्रासदी में से एक। विभाजन विभीषिका स्मृति दिवस का तय होना ऐसे लोगों को हर भारतवासी की तरफ से आदरपूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि है।
The majority of Indians living today were born long after India's blood-drenched partition. They must indeed remember this history. The agony of 1 million people losing their lives, of 1 million people uprooted in the largest distress displacement in human history. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास। तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
In today's episode of Dharohar, we will bring you the rare speeches of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose from the archives of All India Radio.
The fourth cricket test between India and England is evenly poised at the Oval in London. At the end of day 4 yesterday, England was 77 for no loss. India have set a target of 368 runs for the hosts to win the test match. Earlier, India were all out for 466 in their second innings, taking a lead of 367 runs. Rohit Sharma with 127 runs was the top scorer.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. National capital Delhi is predicted a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will rise from a minimum of 27 to a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Temperature will hover between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature recorded was 25 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 33 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addresses frontline COVID warriors and beneficiaries of Himachal Pradesh, says the state is empowering world's largest and fastest vaccination campaign. President Ramnath Kovind presents President's colour to the Indian Naval Aviation at INS Hans in Dabolim, Goa. Union Health Ministry says genome sequencing and analysis of COVID-19 progressively increased in the country. More than 68 crore 75 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.44%. In Kerala, efforts intensified to trace the source of Nipah virus. Central team reaches on a 3-day visit to Bihar to assess the damages caused by flood. In Afghanistan, Taliban claims to capture Panjshir Valley. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the inaugural conclave of Shikshak Parv at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. And with that, we end the midday news.